Jasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're going to be reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 8, verse number 9. Does somebody want to do the Sanskrit? Who's your leader that usually does the Sanskrit? Good. Unless you give me a tune to sing, that'll help me out. Jahya Shulam Bhavan Imam Ivam Atmanaha. Jaya Suram Bhavam Imam Ivam Atmanaha. Samam Mano Dvastva Na Santivid Visaha. Vitejitad Atmana Utpate Stitat. Tadihyanan Tasya Mahat Samarhanam. Jahasram Bhavam Imam Tvam Atmanaha. Samam Mano Datsva Nash Santi Vidvasaha. Rite Jitad Atmana Ut Pate Stitat. Tadihyanan Hyanat Tasya Mahat Samarhanam.
Jayasuram bhavamimam tvamatmanaha. Samam mano datsvana shanti vidvishaha. Rite jitadatmana utpate stitat. Tadhiyanantasya mahat samarhanam.
समं मनोधत्स्वन सन्ति विद्विषा ऋते जितादात्मन उत्पथे स्थितात् तद्दीयनन्तस्य महत्समर्हणम्
समं मनोधत्स्वन सन्ति विद्विषः ऋते जितादात्मना उत्पते स्थितात् तद्धि अनन्तस्य महास्मरणम्
Jahi, just give up. Asuram, the maniac. Bhavam, tendency. Imam, this. Tvam, you, my dear father. Atmanaha, of yourself. Samam, equal. Manaha, the mind. Datsva, make. Na, not. Santi, are. Vidvisaha, enemies. Rite, accept. Ajitat, uncontrolled. Atmanaha, the mind. Utapate, on the mistaken path of undesirable tendencies. Stitat, being situated. Tathi, that mentality. He indeed, Anantasya, of the unlimited Lord, Mahat, the best, Samarhanam, method of worship. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prahlad Maharaj continued, "My dear father, please give up your demoniac mentality. Do not discriminate in your heart between enemies and friends. Make your mind equipoised toward everyone. Except for the uncontrolled and misguided mind, there is no enemy within this world. When one sees everyone on the platform of equality, one then comes to the position of worshiping the Lord perfectly." Purport. Unless one is able to fix the mind at the lotus feet of the Lord, the mind is impossible to control. As Arjuna says in Bhagavad Gita 6:34, Kanchalam hi mana Krishna pramate balavadridam tasyadam tasyaham nigraham manye vayor eva suduskaram. Quote, "For the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it, it seems to me, is more difficult than controlling the wind." Unquote. The only bona fide process for controlling the mind is to fix the mind by service to the Lord. We create enemies and friends according to the dictation of the mind. But actually, there are no enemies and friends. Panditaha samadarshinaha. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. To understand this is the preliminary condition for entering into the kingdom of devotional service. Om Jnana Timarandasya Gina Gina Shalakaya Chakshur Umalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamstra Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpachubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Dear Srila Prabhupada, I'm born in the darkness of ignorance, and you, as well as your many representatives and the Lord in my heart, are continually opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances again and again. Hare Krishna. Please, Srila Prabhupada, and dear Lord Krishna, and all the assembled devotees, please help this session, this class, to be one that opens our hearts and our minds to see more deeply what it is that you, Srila Prabhupada, wanted to give us. Thank you for your loving, kind gifts and blessings upon us. Hare Krishna. So, I'm sure all of you have maybe heard this verse previously. Except for the uncontrolled mind, there is no enemy in this world. when one sees everyone on that platform of equality, one then comes to the position of worshiping the Lord perfectly. Now, I'm sitting on this seat, and you all think I'm a Prabhupada disciple. And you may have your opinions about that. I'd like to say that actually, in reality, there is a sense of equality because we're all souls in a human machine. And that is challenging for each and every one of us on our life journey, on our spiritual journey. And so, really, there is no difference between all of you or each of you and myself. The only difference might be I'm a bit older, and maybe I've had more experiences in this lifetime. But I don't know what experiences you've had in your lifetimes before this. So you may have had more experiences than I have. So we don't really know. We don't really know who we're sitting with, who we're talking to. We just perceive things, and then our mind quickly makes some judgment based on whatever experiences we've had generally in this life, maybe some from our last life, and we just quickly make judgments and assessments. Now, the mind is designed to make assessments. It helps us. Okay, it's cold outside, maybe I need to wear some kind of a warmer wrap. Oh, nature's calling, maybe I need to answer that call. I'm hungry, maybe I need to eat. So the mind does play a very important role in our lives. Without it, we could be vegetables. However, in this conditioned state, the mind, well, I'm not going to say the mind gets carried away. We give too much power to the mind. We believe everything it says, and the mind is based on really automatically trying to keep us safe, keep us from hurting ourselves, keep us from any danger. And in fact, Krishna designed this body in such a way that he wired in automatic protective mechanisms. So if something happens that's scary, say there's a fire, immediately all the systems in the body jack up the adrenaline, and we find a way to get out of the building, run down the steps, 18 floors. But we have the adrenaline, and so that gives us the power to do that. So these automatic protective systems are given to us by Krishna to keep us, to help us to survive. And they do help us to survive. And when we're little children, life is very disconcerting, and so we're trying to survive. And so the mind helps us to survive. However, as we grow, some of the conditioned responses we've learned as a child, they continue to control our behaviors. And we don't necessarily pay attention to what they're exactly telling us, or if what they're exactly telling us is valid or not. We kind of sometimes automatically believe what the mind tells us. But then sometimes the mind tells us this, and then sometimes it tells us the opposite, and then we get very confused. So the mind, in and of itself, is not an enemy. In and of itself, it's trying to help us. It's designed to help us. We really give a lot of power to the mind. I have to figure this out. Now, you're all intelligent persons. And many of you have gone to college and gotten degrees. Some of you may even be working. I don't know. Some of you are working. So the mind helps us to survive and function. It doesn't necessarily help us to understand how to become Krishna conscious, or how to be Krishna conscious. So here we have the story of Prahlad and his father, Hiranyakashipu. So you notice in this verse here, Prahlad is 5 years old. He addresses his father, who is demoniac. He has given a lot of power to his mind, and he thinks that his power and his energy that he got from his blessings from Brahma, he can control so many things. So in his mind, he thinks he has a lot of control. I can control everything. Interesting. This wanting to control, this need to control, there's something on the other side of that need to control. Does anybody know what that is? What's the other emotion on the side of the need to control? Well, I'm sorry? Surrender? That's not what I'm looking for, but that was a good guess. Enjoying mentality. Yes, but there's something that we're running away from, and we think that the controlling is enjoying. What are we running away from? Fear. Who said that? Fear. Fear and insecurity. In actuality, we are a jiva tattva. We don't have that much control or power. And so, in one sense, we all have fear and insecurity. It's natural. And in fact, one of the first things that Lord Brahma created was, besides, he created the fear of death. Now, we are eternal, so actually we don't die, but there is this sense and this fear of death, or the fear that I can't control. So, actually, Hiranyakashipu is super fearful. And in being super fearful, that's why he needed to control, because he was actually so afraid. Now, but to everybody else, he was so powerful, he was really pretty scary. Now, Prahlad, he's only 5 years old. He's smaller in stature, younger. He understands his father's mentality. He understands his father's a demon. And yet he addresses his father, my dear father. We only have one father. That was his father in this lifetime. My dear father. My dear father. He didn't see his father as an enemy. But interestingly enough, his father saw this little 5-year-old boy as his enemy. Like, what's a 5-year-old boy going to do to you? Well, he's not listening to me. He's not under my control. Why can't I control this little boy? You're my enemy. But Prahlad didn't see his father as an enemy. My dear father, please give up your demoniac mentality. Please. There's only one enemy in this world, and that's the uncontrolled mind. Now you see, the uncontrolled and misguided mind. Now it doesn't say the mind is the enemy. It says the uncontrolled and misguided mind. So how many of you feel like your mind is your enemy? There you go. Okay. how does it feel living with your enemy 24/7? How does that feel? Scary. What else? How does it feel living with your enemy 24/7? Please. What's that? Fearful, difficult. What else? Austere.
Most of the time actually we enjoy, and when we become conscious, then only we realize it's enemy. Like when we are asking, we are thinking more deeply and we are analyzing that it's enemy, but most of the time we just go with the flow.
We go with the flow, but that doesn't mean it's talking in the back, doesn't mean it's not talking in the background. It tells us many things that drive us. So the mind doesn't have to be our enemy when we regulate it. And I like to use the word manage instead of control. Because if you've ever noticed with little kids, or maybe with your parents, or maybe with your own desires, sometimes the more you try to control something, the more it screams. However, when you manage a child, or you manage your mind, you're saying, okay, my dear mind, okay, let's think about this, let's take a little time with this. When you fight your mind and see it as an enemy, it becomes an enemy and fights back. When we see other people as enemies, and we make faces, or we avoid them, or we have our strong opinions about them, it affects our relationships. And then when our relationships are affected, we may actually start to judge ourselves also. There is a thing called self-judgment. And this judgment then makes us feel bad. Oh, why am I feeling that way? But I am feeling that way. So monitoring and managing the mind helps us to understand what it's telling us, why it's telling us that, and then seeing, is this a red flag? Is this really important? Or is this kind of something that my mind has escalated into something big? And a lot of times our mind does escalate things due to our insecurities of being a soul in a human machine with lots of intense experiences in our lifetimes, our many lifetimes, and even in this lifetime. So the main point here is really, it says, when one sees everyone on the platform of equality, one then comes to the position of worshiping the Lord perfectly. And Prabhupada says, to understand this is the preliminary qualification for entering into the kingdom of devotional service. Entering. This is an important understanding to have, to enter into really devotional service. Sometimes we run around and we do devotional service. I ran around for a good almost 3 decades, running around doing lots of devotional service and not taking any time to really deeply reflect. I would push down my anger and push down my emotions, and I thought I was controlling myself. I kept myself very busy. But I didn't see everyone on an equal level. And I very much felt my mind was my enemy. And so, as we look deeper, we understand what are the qualities of Hiranyakashipu. Give me some qualities of Hiranyakashipu. A controller, okay.
Not a devotee of Lord.
Not a devotee of the Lord. He performed austerities. What is that? Envious of the Lord. Proud. Hiranyakashipu was full of himself. He also was very, what would you call it? Political, right? Duplicitous. He manipulated things for his own benefit, right? Now let's look at Prahlad. What are some of the qualities of Prahlad? Devotional, compassionate, surrender. I'm sorry? Humble. Tolerant. Yeah, Prahlad was very simple. As a child, children are generally more simple. They're not complicated. They don't necessarily know how to judge. They don't necessarily think until maybe when they go to school or if they're taught at home. They don't think, oh, this person's black and this person's white, or this person's dark and this person. They don't see that difference. They don't see it. It's like, this is my friend. But then somewhere they come into school, and maybe if they're darker, then maybe they start to get self-conscious. Oh, people are looking at me in a negative way. They think I'm darker. But they don't naturally have that. They're simple-minded. They're not duplicitous. Hiranyakashipu is very duplicitous. He just did whatever worked for him. Children, Prahlad was very, very, very simple. And in this simplicity and this innocence, he didn't see friends or enemies. He didn't see friends or enemies. And even when his father actually tried to kill him, he didn't see his father as an enemy. He didn't hate his father. Now, he had a special quality that not all children have to that degree, and that was his faith in the Lord. He wasn't insecure because his security was in the Lord. But his security in the Lord made his father feel even more insecure, right? How can you defy me? I'll teach you a lesson. So the mind, is the mind our friend or our enemy? Well, it depends on how much power we give to the mind. When we can understand our mind and understand why it's telling us certain things, and maybe even reflect on what the mind's telling us, and reflect maybe deeply, we can maybe say, okay, maybe I don't want to do that. Or why am I thinking this person is my enemy? Well, they said this and they did this. Okay. Maybe that might mean I don't want to have this person as my best friend, but I don't have to see them as my enemy. Because they're a soul struggling in a human machine just like I am. And maybe they've had a much harder life than I have. And maybe they see a lot of people like enemies, or maybe they're very insecure, like Hiranyakashipu, and so they have to try to control or judge me or put me down because they feel so insecure. But I don't have to do that to them. And if I find myself doing that, maybe I'm insecure. Maybe I could look at that. and see what are my fears, what are my insecurities, and how can I develop strong faith in Krishna as Prahlad had. So, I'd like to really hear from you. I do like to talk, but I'd like to more hear from all of you. You know, what you heard there, if you have any opposition to what I said, if you have any challenging questions or even just reflections, I'd really like to hear from you what you think about what I said or this verse, because you all have Krishna in your heart and you all have wisdom, and I'd really like to hear what you're thinking about what I said. Please, go ahead.
Very relevant, Mataji.
I'm sorry?
Very relevant. We can correlate, Mataji.
Okay. I was looking at you and I was wondering why your mouth wasn't moving. Is he a ventriloquist? Okay, I see. Now I see. I'm looking now. Go ahead. It's very relevant. Yeah. It's important that these lessons that are being given to us are practical and relevant in our lives. Otherwise, we just think, well, Prahlad was a pure devotee, he could do that, and I'm not, so Jai Prahlad. But that doesn't help me. So go ahead. Anything else? That was it. You wanted to say something?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I do have one question, Mataji.
Okay, please.
So, like we assume like some peoples are our enemies, and
Can you speak slower and louder, just because?
yeah, we think like some of the peoples are our enemies.
Yeah, sometimes we think people are our enemies, yeah.
And then we try to like take shelter of Lord, that we think like it is due to my bad karma, it is happen like that, and that's why I don't want to think of them as my enemies.
Okay,
But with the time, this thing comes again and again.
yeah.
So sometimes we can control our mind, like we can tell our mind and keep it calm. But with the time, it's come again and again. So what we should do then?
Well, we do have automatic protective mechanisms. Fight, flight, freeze. We have automatic protective mechanisms. When we're little and people yell, sometimes we run away, we cry, or we tense our body, but we feel fear because we're little and the people yelling are generally bigger than us. That fear and insecurity gets wired in. And then when we meet people in our life as an adult who similarly have similar tendencies or treat us in a certain way, our body remembers being treated that way when we were a child, and it starts to react and, maybe want to push away, maybe gets a little bit more sophisticated. It doesn't run away and cry, but it runs away and ruminates about how mean that person was. And so we want to be curious. Be curious. Okay, what's going on here? Why am I feeling this person is my enemy? What is it about this person? Well, they're loud, they're obnoxious, they're arrogant. Okay. What am I making that mean? That's my judgment. My judgment is that they're arrogant and they're mean. They may be actually very insecure and hurt, but they're covering that over with a strong exterior like Hiranyakashipu did. But then if I make it mean that they're arrogant and mean, and if I make it mean that, my body might say, I'm in danger. I need to defend myself or run away, which may have some validity. So really understanding how the mind works and understanding my own mind. Okay, I think that they're arrogant and mean. They're doing the best they they can. I'm the one that's taking it personal. I'm taking it personal. I'm making it mean that, what, I have to do what they say? What am I making it mean? I have to get away from this person? And maybe we do want to move away from this person. So, again, that's why I use the word manage rather than control. I'm not going to control the judgments that come into my mind. They're just going to come into my mind automatically, right? I'm not going to stop them from coming in. What's the Bhagavad Gita verse that someone who sees the thoughts coming and flowing lets them pass in front of their eyes, right? You know that verse that I'm talking about, right? Some of you do. So these thoughts come, and then they go, but if we hold on to them, then we're giving power to that thought, and then that thought has control over our actions. So managing is being curious. We're curious about our thoughts. Why am I thinking that way? Why am I judging this person? What am I afraid of? Well, if I don't listen to them, then they're my boss, and I might get fired. Okay, well, that's a valid concern. Maybe I do want to listen to this person since they're paying me, However, maybe if this person is over the top, maybe I want to look for another job. So it's really about really being conscious. Being conscious, what is going on? So managing the mind is something that we're going to be doing our entire life. It's not like we get it under control and then we're done. Or it's not like we become Krishna conscious and then we don't have to do anything else. We're eternal. This is an ongoing process of being conscious. There's a story about a neophyte horseman who took his horse. And he wanted to go right, and the horse wanted to go left. And he was like trying to force the horse to go right, and the horse was kicking and bucking back. And then the expert horseman said, I'll show you how to do it. So the horse wanted to go right, and the horseman wanted to go left. I'm sorry, how was that? The horse wanted to go left, and the horseman wanted to go right. So the expert, he just led the horse around to the left, 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 and then he gently got the horse to go in a circle and then eventually go right. So this is how we can guide the mind. The only enemy is the misguided mind. So that means we, the soul, need to take a little responsibility for what's going on up here. If we just listen to the mind automatically and take everything it says as the truth, it's only been programmed with certain things, and that programming isn't everything. We're programmed in a certain way, but that's not like everything, right? So we just guide it, and we're curious about it. I know this is like really kind of maybe, I can't exactly give you an exact answer how to do it. I've actually written a couple of books about the mind and the false ego. So the answer is in a book, this book, and then this book is the second part, which is about the anartas and how to manage the anartas. So it's a deep science, and actually Arjuna says to control the mind is more difficult than controlling the wind, right? And what does Krishna answer to him? Constant practice and detachment. Constant practice and detachment. So it's an ongoing, constant practice. Oh, my mind is telling me that this person is mean. Okay, well, maybe I don't exactly agree with them. Maybe I don't like what they're saying. They're saying what they're saying. They're doing the best they can. I don't have to see them as an enemy. I don't have to even argue with them. I don't have to prove that they're wrong. I don't have to prove that I'm right. But maybe I won't have a deep philosophical conversation with them. And maybe I will. Maybe I'll start asking them questions. Oh, why is it that you believe this way? Okay, well, I never thought of it that way. And maybe we'll learn something from them. So constant practice and detachment means my opinion about a person is my opinion about a person. It's not the absolute truth because I don't even know what's going on in this person's world. There's another story about a man on the subway in New York, and he had 2 children, and they were like running around the car, disturbing people, taking people's, bags, and this one lady was like, she saw the looks on other people's faces, but she also was very disturbed. Why is this man not controlling his children? What is going on with him? And she went over and she said, your kids are like all over the place. Why aren't you doing something about it? He goes, oh, I'm sorry. I just came from the hospital and I just lost my wife and I'm sorry. And so we have no idea what's going on for a person. We really don't know what's going on, and then we just pass judgment in a second of time. So it's really good to practice curiosity. Like that is like the one big thing I'm going to highlight here. Being curious rather than being judgmental. Being curious, why am I thinking that way? What is going on for this guy? What's happening? Why is this person so upset? We might even ask them a question. Are you okay? Is everything okay? I'm fine. What's your problem? Okay, all right. I was just checking. Or they might say, no, I'm not okay. But if I say, you're arrogant and you're obnoxious, that person's going to feel like, oh, you're attacking me. You're my enemy. I'm going to attack you back. And then we start a fight, right? Takes 2 people to fight. If I don't see people as an enemy, and I just see people as a soul inside a human machine with really overwhelming and excruciating sometimes experiences, I can be a little bit more open-minded. The problem is sometimes we treat others the way we treat ourselves. And we often are pretty hard and harsh with ourselves. We beat ourselves up, we shame ourselves. How did you do that? Why did you do that? Why did you think that person was mean? Why did you argue back? You're so blah, blah, blah. And we judge ourselves. And then we can only take so much, so then we share all that stuff with others too. So managing the mind means understanding ourselves, understanding what we're telling ourselves, understanding how we're self-sabotaging, how we're hurting ourselves, how we're shaming and judging ourselves, and being curious about ourselves. Why am I doing that? Why do I feel that way? What's going on here? Why am I angry? Being curious. And when you're curious and you ask Krishna, okay, Krishna, you know everything, and you are perfectly controlling this situation. You're giving me this circumstance in my life. I could say, oh, it's my karma. That's really I don't like that answer because it doesn't really do justice. I could say, oh, Krishna, what do you want to show me? What do you want to teach me? Because I have a strong opinion that karma is not punishment. Krishna does not want to punish us. Karma is, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And so if some consequences are coming to me, I can just be curious. Again, be curious. What do you want to show me, Krishna? What is it that you want to teach me? Wow, this person is treating me in this way. maybe I've treated people in that way, and now I'm feeling how that feels. Let me be more conscious and be more compassionate in the way I treat others. Does that make sense? That was a long answer, but the question is like, it's an ongoing moment by moment practice and detachment, ongoingly. And sometimes we're just really busy and we're on autopilot. And sometimes that's the best we can do. As much as we can reflect, journal, really be curious about what's going on inside of us, we can learn a lot. So what does it say here? To understand this is the preliminary condition for entering into the kingdom of devotional service. The kingdom of God is within. Krishna's in our heart. We're in our heart. And there's a lot of layers that we have covering our true nature, which is pure. So can we be curious? What are the things that are covering me? I don't know, that was a long answer. I don't know what time it is. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. Was that helpful?
Yes, Mataji.
Follow up?
Yeah.
No, that was helpful?
No, nothing.
You look like you're going to ask another question. Are you asking?
No, I just noted
Hare
down.
Krishna,
Okay.
Mataji.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, sure.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Another voice with no body. Please.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, ma'am, thank you so much. A very wonderful session. Actually, you were showing me the mirror. I could sense that, I have also spent so many years trying to control my mind. But my query is, Mataji, you said not to control the mind, but to manage the mind. Yeah. You gave the example of a horse, right? It doesn't want to turn right. So you go left, and then, gently you turn towards the right. So I wanted to understand, I had two questions. One is the process different when we are dealing with a process and not with a person? Like, for example, I want to wake up for Brahma Muhurta, chanting. So there is no person involved. It is purely a process. So do I control my mind in that sense and not give in to the mind? That's one. Secondly, when
Wait. One question at a time. I'll lose the first question if you ask too many. So, we want to get up in the morning. We want to get up for Brahma Muhurta. Well, we want to use our mind to help us. We need a certain amount of sleep. If we go to bed late, it's going to be a lot harder to get up early. But then if we beat ourselves up, I'm not controlling my mind, I should just be getting up, it's Brahma Muhurta, what's wrong with me? Well, maybe you're tired. So we need to manage the body and the mind. The body has certain needs. And if we're tired, it's going to be a lot harder to get up. So managing the mind means using the mind to understand, I'm tired, I need a certain amount of sleep, or I'm really tired, I'm sick, I need more sleep. And if we don't get up for Brahma Muhurta because we're tired or exhausted or sick, Krishna's not going to judge us for that. We do our very best. We do our best, and that's why Prabhupada said regulate. So regulation means eating at regulated times, sleeping at regulated times. Now, that doesn't mean that we're fanatical about it, like, I got to go to bed at 8:30 and that's it. I can't do anything. I mean, we want to be a little flexible. However, if we're flexible and then we're exhausted the next day, we might not be able to get up. So that's managing the mind, using our intelligence of what we need and not beating ourselves up for not being able to be perfect. Does that make sense?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Mataji,
okay.
Just a continuation on that, like you mentioned
Just
about,
one more question, and then I want to let other people get a chance, okay? So ask your most pressing question.
Sure, Mataji. Okay. Okay. So, Mataji, you said, we can allow the horse to go left and then turn a right. But where do we know how long we can allow the mind to take its direction and when do we have to take the turn? Because sometimes we get tricked by the mind. And in
We
relationships,
certainly do.
actually, in relationships, it's affecting me personally more than in process related. So if you can let us know about it. Thank you so much. That is Pranam.
Well, it takes time to get to know our own mind. We don't usually spend a lot of time getting to know our own mind. How long does it take to get to know a person and become a deep friend with a person? It takes some time. So we want to be curious. Sometimes when we journal and write, we can see more clearly what the mind is saying because we're writing it down on paper and then we can see it. The mind is subtle. Sometimes we think, well, I'm not this body, but it's the subtle body, the subtle elements that really trip us up. So making the subtle elements, making the mind visible by writing, by journaling, by then reading what I wrote, we'll get much more of a sense and understand what is my mind thinking. And if we go left too many times, we'll learn, okay, yeah, I overshot it and I missed my turn. You learn a lot from experience. So there's not just one way to do it, and it's not just I can give you an answer, and that is the answer for everything, all the time, every single instance. It's not like that. Consciousness is alive and real, so we have to be conscious. What is the most appropriate thing to do right now? Oh, I overshot my turn. Okay, recalibrate, right? Okay, I recalibrate, and then but I don't beat myself up. Oh, I went too left too many times. Oh my gosh, how blah, blah, blah am I? So we just do our best, and little by little we grow and we learn, little by little. Thank you for coming. Sorry you have to go. Little by little, we understand our mind, and then we can manage it. A manager, a real manager, he understands the people that he's managing, and he understands this one's good at this one's good at that, this can do that, and that's how he can manage. If we don't understand ourselves, how can we manage? We all have cell phones, right? I think we understand the mechanics and how our cell phone works more than we understand how our own human machine works, seriously. And there's a lot of apps running in the background of our mind that are draining our battery. But we're not even curious to find out what those apps are. We're just like angry at our machine. Why can't I do that? So be curious. Try to understand what your conditioning are, what the apps are that are running in the background. Try to understand yourself. It takes time. I've been working on this for 25 years, so just one step at a time. It's not going to, bhakti is deep, it's not cheap, it's not a quick thing, it's an ongoing, constant practice and detachment. Constant practice and detachment. Oh, okay, I wasn't detached. Okay, well now I know I wasn't detached, so what part can I let go of? What one little thing can I do? What one step can I take today? And really, that's our focus. What can I do today? What can I do right now? Not, how do I get there really fast? If you take that method, you might fall and hurt yourself. Okay?
Yes, Mataji, I definitely.
I hope that was okay.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Any other thoughts, please? And then there's another one. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. So Mataji, you mentioned one point that Prahlad was very simple.
Yeah,
As a child, we are all very simple.
yeah,
But as we grow up, we also have to deal with the outside world. We go
Yeah.
to jobs, we go to colleges, etc.
yeah,
So we also need to discriminate sometimes that someone standing on the other side can exploit us.
yes.
So how to draw that balance between being simple at the same time discriminating enough to safeguard ourselves?
I like to use the word discern, because discrimination is like racial discrimination. And sometimes even just the tiny little difference in the words that we choose shifts our consciousness incrementally. So discern, how do we discern? How do we discern? Well, our body and our mind tell us a lot of things. Ooh, I don't really like being around this person. The way they're talking to me really is uncomfortable. Okay, that's a discernment. Okay, do I have to be around this person? Well, this person is my boss. Okay. All right. Am I being exploited? We have to discern. Am I allowing myself to be exploited? Sometimes, as children, we become people pleasers because we got to get the love of our parents. We don't have any means to do that ourselves. And so however our parents are, we got to adjust. Otherwise, we might get more hurt. And Krishna gives us enough intelligence to know what to do: run away, hide behind the sofa. If some people have alcoholic parents, it's like oh my God, I just never know what's going to happen. And so then, the child learns to be very cautious. So we learn these things very early in life. So we do have sensitivities, so we discern the best we can. Does this work for me? It may not be the absolute truth that this person is blah, blah, blah mean or manipulative. However, if I'm feeling uncomfortable, I take that information and I can say, this doesn't work for me. Maybe people can handle this job. Maybe people are workaholics and maybe they like to be pushed into doing things. Maybe that helps them to work harder. But for me, I feel overwhelmed. It feels like too much. I come home stressed. I yell at my kids. This isn't working for me. I need to find another job, or I need to not associate with this friend. So we discern based on what works for us. And we don't judge ourselves for discerning that I can't be with this person or be in this job. We discern that I can't handle this, and maybe is there something that I can do to learn how to handle this? Or am I a people pleaser? Am I training people to use me? Am I saying yes, 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 when really I mean, oh my gosh, no. But we can't say no. So if we have trouble saying no, if we're that kind of a person, we might practice by saying, let me think about that. And if you just say that, it gives you enough space to then really think and not just answer quickly. And then just say, well, I looked at my schedule and I'm not going to be able to do that. It's going to be too much for me. But if we just say yes, and sometimes in this Indian culture, we do say yes a lot to our elders. Just did it. Yes, 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 yes. So for me, before the word yes comes out of my mouth, I discern, am I going to be able to follow through with this? And I might ask questions. Well, you want me to do this? You want me to do this class? How long is it going to be? What are your expectations of me? Oh, it's going to be 5 hours long. I'm like, oh, that's a little long, So I ask questions to discern, if this is going to work for me or not. So, and if we make a mistake in discerning, and it's like, oh God, why did I say yes? We'll learn from that. And then the next time, we'll be more conscious to say, let me think about that. Let me get some more information about what it is that you're asking me to do. And then we'll start being more curious and ask questions, and then we'll have the ability to discern more. So we can learn by every experience we have, even when we make mistakes. I have made so many mistakes in my life. All my books are about the mistakes that I made in my life. We learn from our mistakes, or we can learn from our mistakes. And when we learn from our mistakes, we grow. So was that helpful?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. 1, 2, go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, you were talking about insecurity. We were discussing Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu. So my question is, how can we deal with insecurities?
Well, we all have insecurity. This world is not a very secure place. And this body isn't even a secure place because we're going to lose it at some time. So we can examine, what are my insecurities? What are my needs? We're not going to fully drop our insecurity. Don't think you're going to get rid of it. I mean, when something happens, our body feels insecure, It's like, oh my God, I almost had an accident. It's like it's wired in. So don't try to get rid of these things. You can manage them. We're all insecure, believe it or not. But when we pretend we're secure and we're not, we might get ourselves into trouble, like Hiranyakashipu. He was pretending he was secure, right? So being open and to understanding your insecurities will have you better able to manage them. It's not a secure place. The world, our body. What is our best security? Who is the only infallible one that can give us all security? Krishna. Yeah. So when we're insecure, we can say, okay, Krishna, help me to manage this. Show me. What do you want to teach me? Help me to understand what's the best thing to do. And pray to Krishna. And the more we reach out and pray to Krishna, even in the small, minute moments of our life, the more we develop a relationship with Krishna, the more we depend on Krishna. And we are dependent on Krishna. Sometimes we think, oh, I shouldn't bother Krishna. We need Krishna. We need Krishna. And so talking to Krishna in the moments of our life can be very helpful and very reassuring. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. There's somebody over here that had a question. Yeah. What time do we go until? 9 o'clock, or is that right? People have to work? Okay, so we'll take one more question.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So it's more like a realization.
Okay, speak a little louder.
So it's more like a realization.
Okay, good, perfect.
You came 2 years ago in Pune.
Ah,
Yeah, and I happened to attend your seminar there.
ah,
So at that point of time, I was having deep introspection in the life, what is happening and what to do and what not to do. So earlier I was a hardliner.
ah,
Ki only Prabhupada books, philosophy, you're not this body, you are soul, and you have to get Krishna, that is sufficient.
speak loud. I want to hear every word you're saying. It's valuable, but I can't hear them
Earlier
all.
I was a hardliner.
Yeah, I got the hardliner part. I didn't hear the part
Right.
after that.
Prabhupada books are sufficient, you're not this body, your soul.
Yeah.
Chant Hare Krishna,
Yes.
be happy.
Everything will just
Bhagavatam.
evaporate, right?
Yeah. And you try to do the best from your side, but still, as Krishna makes some challenges around you,
For sure,
and
because he loves us.
yeah,
It's not a cheap process. He wants to give us the real thing.
yes. So he gives those challenges, and then you try to find those answers. And sometimes you're unable to find those answers. Like look, from a hardliner side, like we are taught to like 7 habits, the self-help books. We are not into so much those books. But luckily I was there and you came there. I happened to attend your seminar, and I was all going that all introspection and trying to find out the answers and looking why this is happening to me and what I have to do. So I happened to hear your seminar, then I happened to read these 2 books, Finding
You
the
have those
Gap.
2 books?
Yeah, I read both the books,
Wow.
Entering the Gap and Finding the Gap. So I could realize that we are living on such some maybe more of our different platform, more of a philosophical platform.
Philosophical, theoretical.
Yeah, but we are human beings, we have emotions, we are living with people. So it is also a part of bhakti process, how to deal with people, and ultimately challenges will come in this form only. and we have to attain that maturity
Yes.
to how to deal in different situations. Like I remembering in the first book, Finding the Gap, you were like, be on the ground. You are trying to go high up very fast. You are trying to use the elevator lift, something like that was there.
It was the other way around. You're on the balcony and you're trying to get down
Yeah.
and you jump off the balcony and you
yeah.
hurt yourself.
Yes, yes,
Where
yes.
actually you got to go down and walk down 18 steps,
Yes.
18 floors.
Yep. So like I was running fast that I have to go
Yes,
ahead in devotional
fast.
service. So it was soothing like that. In the second book, you told at least realize what emotions you are going through.
And habits, yeah.
Yeah, if you cannot express, if you cannot have the solution about them, but at least you can be accept that this is I'm going through. So many things are there.
Yeah.
So I could realize that at least what you have told in your books. So I was of the notion that these are all self-help books and we are not meant to read these books. It is
Maya.
taboo, yeah, all those things.
Yeah.
But I could very much realize that this is bhakti is emotions and interacting with people, everything.
Totally.
And this is how Krishna plays with us.
And he's playing with us and he's trying to get us to grow up, yeah.
Yeah. So I wrote these, that's why I read those two books.
Ah.
I could attain certain level of maturity and I could realize why, like again, this session was a good recap for me. So
Yeah.
many things you told was a good recap
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to go to these two books again.
Yes.
Because this is not a lifetime, this life is an entire eternity. If you have still in material world, emotions are there, people are there, and we
Yeah.
have to have the maturity how to deal with them.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I do reading groups with these books. I have 2 all men's groups, and a lot of the men are from India.
Yes.
And we just take a little segment and we go through it really deeply and really, deeply, like ask this many questions.
Yeah.
90 minutes about 2 little sections of the book. So we've been doing it for like 2 years now. We're almost at the end of the second book in 2 years.
Yes, yes.
And so, to me, bhakti is really, really, really deep. It's not a cheap process. It's a precious jewel. And even one verse in the Bhagavatam, the first verse, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur spent a month talking about one verse. It's so deep. And we want to just be able to touch those things that we can practically apply in our lives. It's not a surface level thing. We really got to go deep, and we got to deal with the subtle body. That's the thing that trips us up. So, yeah. I do have a couple sets of those books. I don't have too many left. I have more at the other place, but yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend them.
Yeah.
Take the blessings of Prabhupada disciple and do read these 2 books. At least it was a great help for me. And
Yeah.
my friends have been joining your study
Yeah,
circle.
the group.
So when they ask questions, they share with me what you told.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Parjane Priyadas.
Janapriya. So Pratik?
Yeah, Pratik is my roommate only.
Okay, yeah. Pratik, I know Pratik really well. So, it's really good to deepen our Krishna consciousness. It makes it real in the moment, like today it's real, like Krishna's with me today, not I'm going to get there someday, maybe not, which is creates a little insecurity and anxiety. Am I going to make it? But I don't have to make it anywhere. I'm here, Krishna's here, what can I do today? And that's it. And then that can relieve our insecurity and our anxiety also. Yeah, there's nowhere to get. We just want to keep uncovering and opening our eyes. Thank you. Thank you for that. One more question. I'm going to get in trouble here.
So Mataji, you write in your book, the real courage is to face our inner demons and not to conquer the world. To face our inner demons.
Yeah.
So Mataji, as in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Manushyanam sahastresu kaschit yatati siddhaye. There are thousands and thousands people who try, but one person succeed. Mm-hmm. In the same way, many of us many a times reflect. Many of us many a times try to overcome our patterns. We are trapped in the loop, and we
We're
actually
trapped in a loop. That's a very,
we try, we reflect, out of 1,000, just one person actually can break that cycle. What is difference between these 999 people and that one person?
Well, that one person probably has been in the process longer. We don't expect a 2-year-old to know physics, but that person knows me in truth. Even the great souls, the 6 Goswamis, they didn't claim to know Krishna in truth. And why is that? Because Krishna is always ever expanding. But we don't want to look at ourselves, and we don't want to take that verse and think, oh, I'm not that great. I'm not going to be that one that succeeds. If we look at success as a goal, getting to a certain goal, we're all going to fail. But if we celebrate the little successes we have on a daily basis, oh, today I understood myself, today I journaled and I discovered something about myself, that's a success right there. So we want to celebrate the little successes in life, the little steps we're taking. When a little baby starts walking, if they fall down, do we say, oh, you're so weak, you're in Maya, what's wrong with you? Come on, it's natural to walk, get up and walk. That child will probably sit down and cry and might have a lot harder time walking. But we say, oh no, yay, look at that, you took your first step, that's so. So can we encourage ourselves with the little steps that we're taking? We're just little kids on this path. Can we encourage ourselves and say, oh wow, I actually, I didn't beat myself up today. Oh, I actually was angry and I was able to manage that. Wow. Those are the successes. And in those moments, hardly one knows me in truth. In those moments, we know Krishna in truth. Thank you, Krishna. You helped me so much. Thank you. In that moment, we know Krishna in truth. And then there's the next moment, the next moment, the next moment, the next moment, the next moment. We only have now. We only have this moment now. So as we practice in this moment, something transforms. And when we don't practice, and then we remember that we didn't practice, we're like, oh yeah, I forgot to practice, and that wasn't as fun as when I did practice. And then we'll start practicing more and more and more. So yeah, the kingdom of God is within. All the work that we do on ourselves, all the work we do to discover what is covering my consciousness, what's covering my consciousness, and uncovering that, we will feel lighter, we will feel freer, we will be able to relate to others with more compassion, and we'll get more momentum. This is the one right here for me to work on. And what was Prabhupada's glory? He was Krishna conscious. He walked around, and in each moment, he was Krishna conscious. He was Krishna conscious. Can I practice being Krishna conscious in the moments of my life? That makes it real. Thank you so much for your time, for your attention. I do have books up here if people would like to get the books. I don't have so many, but this one is about compassion. And I have a couple books about my story of when I got kidnapped and deprogrammed. So these are 500, and because this set, because I don't have many of them, the price went up. So this is 2,000 for this set, because don't have many copies left at this point. So thank you for your time and your attention. Vanchakalpachibhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srimad Bhagavatam, all glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.